The most important thing is to be brave. To be brave and to work hard. And there is no step forward without getting out of comfort zone. So I think each time we get out of our comfort zone, there is a chance we can go forward. If no, and the fear is the only thing that actually stops us from reaching something, because we're not sure. And if you ask me like 1 year ago, I would tell you, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be an opera singer. I don't know if I'm good.
Well, you're the first Petra I speak to.
Nice. Actually, I don't know. Also know many Petras. In my country, it wasn't really a popular name, because it's like from outside of my country. It's like not our traditional name. And when my parents gave it to me, it was a little bit, wow, yeah, they are so modern. and now all the babies and all the girls are called Petra.
Oh, really? So where were you born?
I was born in Montenegro, in Kotor, the seaside, by the sea in the bay.
Yeah.
So I was always surrounded by the sea and the mountains at the same time. So it's beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, well, and you say, but it's not a traditional name there.
No, we are really a little bit behind. We're old school.
Oh, okay. Well, it's lovely to meet you here on Zoom. And yeah, and you are in Hanover at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay. So tell me, but I also see you studied in Vienna.
Yes, my journey is a little bit fast. So in the past 6.5 years, I've changed, I think, 6 countries. I left home when I was 16 years old. And first I went to Boston Arts Academy. Then I moved from Boston to Minnesota. I lived in Twin Cities in Stillwater, in a small town, and I did some musicals. I wanted to be an actress first, and that's how I started. I wanted to go a little bit abroad to learn something more and do something more. But then, because of my accent, of course, it was really difficult to start an acting career. And then they somehow asked me to try to do musicals. And of course I finished music school, and I played piano and I sang in choir before. So I was like, wow, cool, that doesn't exist in Montenegro. We don't have musical theater. So
really?
For me we don't have opera as well. So it was really, I mean, of course we have education like for kids and everything, but we don't actually have a house. Last year I think they opened the first house where you have orchestra pit. We didn't. There was no like hall in Montenegro with orchestra pit. So it's really
wow.
Yeah.
But because where did the love for music then came from?
I think it's a tradition because we live by the sea, and we all have this. It's a tradition to sing with family always, and there is always music. Mediterranean. It's just this warm blood, and the family is always gathering together, and there's always music and always singing. And my grandma was also raised in a really traditional Mediterranean family. And she also played instruments and sang. Of course, she didn't do it as her job, but as a profession. But she's this artistic soul. So, and also my mom always listened to good music. So I was always surrounded by music, and it was a must to go to music school. So when I was 5 years old, I started going to music school, learning solfeggio, choir, and so it was somehow I was raised that way, but it wasn't meant to be my profession. It was just meant to be my part of my education. And it just developed through acting that I developed love for theater, and then somehow the two loves came together.
But now this is very interesting for me that you say there's no theater, there's no big opera theater, yet everybody's singing in Montenegro.
Yeah, it's called klapa. We sing a cappella. It's really traditional. Of course, we have some other traditional music, but like on the seaside, we have these klapas that's usually in 5, 6, or even more voices of people singing a cappella. That's like either women or mixed or just men, and then we sing a cappella, everyone in different, like in thirds, everyone in different voice, and it's beautiful. It's actually we are talented. It's just not classical music. It's really interesting. Like, we don't really know anything about this big. Now when I shared this live stream that was going on 4 days ago on the 20th of January, it was just a big thing for my family and for everyone in Montenegro to see this big production. Of course, they saw it on the TV, and we follow everything was happening in the room. But just because Yugoslavia was so big, the center was Belgrade and maybe Sarajevo, and not Montenegro is too small to have money for such big productions, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay. But now, so when you then decided you wanted to study music then in America, why America first did you think of?
Yeah, so I
wanted to study acting, yeah.
Yes, I wanted to study acting, and I went to the United States alone when I was 15 years old just to travel. And I met accidentally a guy we watched from my friend's neighbor. We watched a game, football or something, American tradition, in the garden, and then just a parent, like an older guy, asked me, like, what do you do, what are your interests? And then I said, oh, I love acting. And he's like, can you act something for me? And I'm like, act something for you? No, but I can sing something for you because I love singing. And that was the first time I wanted to sing in front of some people I don't know. And he said okay. And then I sang my song of my favorite singer, Melody Gardot. I sang a jazzy song, and he was like, I will come back. And then he went and he called someone, and he organized audition for me immediately. He was in like some chef board of Baltimore School of Arts, and or something, I don't know. I was 15 years old, so for me it didn't really matter. So he called someone and he organized, like, he's like, you need to come, you need to try, you need to like do something with yourself. You're talented and beautiful and you have ambition. So he organized that, and then it didn't work out that summer. So then they called me back in the winter, really short notice. I packed my things and I went, and then I did a few auditions on East Coast. So if I already pay and fly to United States, always alone, I was really independent since I was little. And I organized a few auditions in Boston and on East Coast, and they accepted me in all of them. But then something happened in Baltimore, something that they lost the license of accepting exchange students because it was some problem with police. I don't remember. So then Boston took me. But they let me know first in July, so it was all last minute. I moved, and I didn't have a place to live, and it was really all really difficult for a 16-year-old girl going through all of it. But somehow I managed, and I then lived in Boston for a few months, but I couldn't find a family to legally host me because I was living by friends of family. So it was really, I was babysitting, and it was just somehow surviving, but also beautiful. Now when I look at it, it's beautiful that I went through all of this. And then I made some beautiful friendships there because there were also young people helping me, and but not being able to be my parents at that point, like officially. And I legally needed to have some parents who are going to sign my papers. So they told me, like, you need to find or you need to go. And I couldn't go back home. Somehow it was not an option. So I I contacted my cousins, and I moved to Minnesota, and they were just wonderful to me, and they organized some auditions. I was in really nice school, and I did musicals in the school and also outside in musical, like in community theaters, and they all like were wonderful to me, like opening some amazing opportunities for me. It was the first time I met musical theater, and I could do, and they immediately opened all the doors. That's what I like about United States. They just open all the doors. Oh, you're talented and you want to work, come. Like, we're gonna give you some opportunities. Yeah. And I was just 16, so it was really a huge opportunity for me. And then that whole year I was there doing some small projects and going to school as well. And then I came back to Europe because a teacher there told me, "Oh my God, you have a bigger voice. Maybe you could do opera." And I'm like, "Opera?"
Really?
Yeah, because I started singing in Montenegro, and my teacher was like, "We need to do some classical exercises. If some control comes, we need to like have some classical education." And I'm like, "Okay, but like let me sing jazz. Like I want to sing jazz and be an actress. I don't want to do classical." And then she's like, "But we need to learn something, just in case someone comes to control the school, we need to do classical." And I'm like, "Okay, then let's do it." And then the teacher in America told me, "You have a bigger voice. You should try opera. You should go back to Europe and try to study opera there." And then we went to some a competition in Bethel University in Minnesota, and I got the first prize and best recite.
Wow.
And I sang aria of Cherubino. That was the first like classical piece I sang for mezzo, which is so funny. I didn't even know about that. And then, then I came back, and it was a little bit difficult with the family to support you in the way like, oh, opera, classical music, where we don't have this in Montenegro. So it wasn't so, it didn't seem so secure or something that's gonna for sure bring you money or that you can live on your own. So it was really a little bit a fight, I must say. So I started studying business in Belgrade, just so I calm down a little bit these instability. And then then I learned German in 7 months there, and went every month to Vienna to like do consultations with the teachers. And actually I first made a whole tour around Europe to see where I want to study. Then I felt really at home in Vienna. I was like, this is my city, it's beautiful. Then I started working with Professor Claudia Viska, and
I know her.
Yes, and she really opened the Viennese door to me, and like really liked me, and she wanted to help me. So I was going and visiting her. And then I did the Empress exam in February. And I didn't get in because she couldn't take me, and you need to write a professor on the list that wants to take you, and I couldn't write her because she was going to already retirement. And then I was like, oh my God, like I don't know anyone else, so I just wrote all the names, and that's not how it works. So then I wasn't taken, but I went to the last round, like the third round, I don't know. And then I wasn't taken. But then Regina Kubla, my first teacher in Vienna that actually took me later, contacted me, and she's like, I really liked your audition, like we should work and then prepare, and I'm sure you can get in. Then we worked. And then I went from Belgrade. I learned German there, and I went every month with the bus to Vienna to take a few lessons, and always going back to Belgrade. And then then in September I got in, and then I studied with Regina first. Then I moved to Rainer Trost Klasse in my third year, and then I finished. Then I got my agency last year, and I got this job. On my third year of bachelor studies, which was totally unexpected. And Now it's just I'm in opera studio in Hannover, and that's where I am now. This is just a long story short. I'm just talking.
This is so amazing. I mean, you've really had so many experiences and so many. Well, you've had setbacks as well, and you just carried on, and the doors just keep opening for you. Isn't it amazing? This is inspiring because I think so many young people look and they see the end result, but they never see all the sacrifices. If you say 15 years old and you went alone to America, I mean, if I can just remember when I was 15 years old, there was no way I would have had the confidence to do that, yet you did it, so
it was, yeah, I can, it was just the connection I had with my parents. We were always friends. And it was also like when I'm like, now I can be a mother already, maybe. And I think, oh my God, if I had a kid, I would not be so brave. So I'm also thankful for that they were just like thinking, I mean, it's also my personality, but they were thinking, oh, she's independent, she can do it. So they trusted me, and they were like, they bought me a plane ticket, and they're like, here it goes, here is a ticket for you, go and fight, find your way. If you want it, you will fight for it. So I'm thankful for that, because if it wasn't like that, if I was taken care of all the time, maybe I wouldn't make this the way so far,
Yeah. And did you, as a young child, did you have this personality already that that you're a bit of a fighter, that you just go for things?
Yeah, I was, as they say, I was always a grown up, I never had toys. I never liked, like toys or like playing with kids. I always wanted to sit with grown ups and discuss. I always had questions like all the time. Why this, why this? So I was somehow always grown up. Also, my professor of acting, I did acting school for 10 years in Montenegro, or even more. And my professor, who is a really important man to me, he developed this love for theater, and he made me so strong, because it's this, like, I would say, Russian school, where it's really tough. Like, there is no like kindness and slowly telling you're not good. It's like, this is really bad, go home and you're not for this or something. So we already faced everyone who was in that acting school, which is the best in Montenegro. We faced already these like brutality of this job. So he said once, because I worked for the festival, he's a head of a children's theater festival in Montenegro, which is really big, and Kotor Children Theater Festival. And he said I worked for him, and then there was a meeting, and I was actually the head of one department in the festival, and I was underage, and everyone was like, working for me in some way, because I love this organization and cultural management, and I love working also in organization. And everyone was making some like not appropriate jokes, and then one guy from Technic was like, oh my God, stop, like, is Petra like 18? Like, can she listen to these stories? And then my professor there, Petar, he said, no, she was born 18. That was the best comment. So that's like I laughed, because I didn't know like that people see me that way, and then I realized, oh, actually, yes, it's not normal that a kid leaves home when 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, and you actually discovered your voice then at a later age in your life. And normally people who sing opera, they study music from a very young age, and they already know, or had an idea. But you said you didn't. You just wanted to sing jazz.
Yeah, it was. There was a video on my Instagram that my first music teacher sent me for Christmas, where I'm singing solo on national television when I was 6 years old. So she discovered actually this talent of mine, apparently, when I was 6 years old, because it was a huge children's choir, and she chose me from everyone to be a soloist there. Of course, a few others in other songs, but this song. And she wrote me, now, you were the only one. Like, of course, I didn't know to read music. I just listened and then I repeat. I was 6 years old. And she said, you were the only one to have like, pitch, like perfect pitch. You weren't low or high. It was really great. And I was the youngest one there at the moment. And then she said, so I chose you. And so she was the one that to recognize already then that I have some kind of talent. But of course, like parents cannot say when I'm 6 years old, oh my God, she's so talented, especially if they're not musicians. They wouldn't know. Like, they really enjoyed it. They went to my concerts. I also played piano. They went to concerts. They followed and supported me in everything, but they didn't take it as like a big talent or a hope, because in Montenegro, you could not make a career out of this, sadly. So they didn't push me in that way, which is maybe also good that I chose that way and found it. So I mean, I was educated musically, but I then had bands, and I really enjoyed singing jazz and pop and like ex-Yugoslavian rock. And I had a band, and we really had a great time and earned some money when we were 14, 15, 16 years old in summer, singing in bars. It was really, really cool, but not something for me, because I didn't feel like that's right in the way of being too open to drunk and drugged people. That everyone has access to you, and everyone can touch you in any moment or tell you whatever they want in any moment. So somehow that helped me decide, oh, this is not for me. So then I opened to switch. I mean, of course, I was doing acting, but I decided, oh no, this is like, I want to do something where I'm on big stage and no one can reach me if I don't want it. So
now you are, I mean, opera, you're doing acting, you're singing, because that's all part of the job. And what is at the moment, so you are at the studio, so it's more training for you then?
Hannover Open Studio is actually giving me many opportunities on stage.
Wow.
So it's I have 10 roles in this season, which is amazing. And it's a lot of work, but I'm so thankful for this trust that they developed at the beginning, and that they gave me, even to jump in Sweeney Todd as Joanna. Now I jumped in December with just one rehearsal. And it's a big role. So I'm thankful for all these opportunities. But of course, we have this part where we actually train on stage and actually learn how it is to work in the theater. But also we have the other side where we work with teachers. We have Neil Shikov was visiting. Edith Wiens from New York came a few days ago. She will come a few times in spring as well. Barbara Frittoli is coming. John Norris from Berlin is coming every few weeks to work with us. We have also a few other people coming, and we have also Sprach coaching for to know how to breathe when we speak just dialogues on stage. So it's some kind of extra education on what we already have. And we will have some also like body trainings and breathing exercises and trainings in spring. So it's a really, really great program, and I'm so happy to be here and to have the opportunity, because it's like studying, working on only the things you need, because sometimes at university you have things you don't need or you already know this is exactly what you need, plus you're on stage all the time.
Yeah.
So, and learning from other colleagues that are much experienced, and just seeing them on stage and listening to them every day actually makes you develop.
Yeah, I think also that part where you start doing it is where you really start learning, when you're there on stage and like you say, also learning from people who've already done that or who are more experienced. So that's wonderful. So yeah. What is your role that you would love to sing, your a special role or a
yeah,
do you have
something
that you aspire to sing?
It's so funny. This was a question also on entrance exam in Vienna. And, I told them one thing is what I'm going to be able to sing because of my voice, of course, and the type of my voice. And the other thing is what I would love to sing one day.
Okay,
And my dream role that I will maybe not sing because I'm not that type of voice. Maybe develops when I get kids or something. Who knows? Is Tosca. Tosca is my dream role, and this music is so beautiful, but it's so far away now for me. So I guess for now, what would be some next steps? What I would like is Musetta for sure, and Zerlina. I would like this would be my next step that I would like to reach in the next 2 or 3 years. I would really like to sing these two roles in the near future.
Well, I'm sure you're going to sing Tosca one day because you seem to be somebody who just do it, or your dreams come true. So maybe it will happen.
I think it's maybe it's also because I think the first big opera I saw was live from the Met, in the theater, in the cinema, and not in the theater. In the cinema, we pay like 15 euros, and you watch live from the Met. We had it in Montenegro, so my mom always brought me to capital of Montenegro to see these live streams. And I think Tosca, that's why, because I saw Tosca was one of the first ones and the biggest ones that gave such a big influence on me. I just love this music, and maybe that's why it stayed like that. Yeah.
But now, tell me what would be now advice that you would give to somebody, a young girl from Montenegro who wants to study opera?
I think the most important thing is to be brave. To be brave and to work hard. And there is no step forward without getting out of comfort zone. So I think each time we get out of our comfort zone, there is a chance we can go forward. If no, and the fear is the only thing that actually stops us from reaching something because we're not sure. And if you ask me like 1 year ago, I would tell you, I don't know if I'm going to be an opera singer. I don't know if I'm good because it was Corona and I didn't sing anywhere, and I maybe a little bit more year and something, maybe I'm going to be an actress actually at the end. So I guess we never know. And we don't have to know. And my biggest advice is just to follow the roads that actually get the light, and follow these roads because it shows by itself. We need to work on ourselves and be ready anytime and be open for anything, and then the things happen. So I think just the biggest advice is be brave and just keep your soul open, because the way is going to show by itself. We don't have to push it, because if we push, that's wrong. We only need to push ourselves to work on ourselves and to be with ourselves. Everything else is just gonna happen by itself, and that's I think the biggest rule of this life.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you there. I think also, things, if we are open to things, these things happen, So, but tell me, what is your wish for the future now?
I always say I'm not a singer. I wasn't always wanting to be a singer. I don't live this life of being a soprano and just living this life. I think it's really important to have balance in life and to also have other things, not to just, of course, my life is theater and music, and that's all I'm doing now. I have nothing else in my life. I'm just being in theater for 10, 12 hours a day and singing on the weekends as well. And I have basically no private life, but in the future, I think what I would like to reach is a balance, because that's what keeps us healthy and what makes us artists. And one other thing for young people is that they need to be aware of life experience. They need to soak everything around them, not to be closed in their small bubble. They need to open, because everything I made as an artist, I made because of my life experience, and everything I lived and I saw and I smelled and tried. I think it's so important, because we need to awaken that on stage when making art. And it's not just like before, standing and singing aria perfectly. It's really theater.
Yeah.
It's really big. So I think, so my goal in next 10 years to say is to have balance. And I think I just want to be on stage, and I would, of course, maybe like to go into freelancing later, but I'm open even to going either first in ensemble or even one more opera studio. It depends what happens, because I'm really young. So I'm open for anything. I don't have a city where I would love to live. I'm totally open. It's not a problem for me. I'm moving around all alone all the time, everywhere, so it's not a problem anymore. And I don't have this fear, or nothing is complicated for me, I believe. So I would just like maybe in 10 years to have some balance in the way, to have maybe my own family, and to be able to choose a little bit more, maybe to be on the sun. That's what I miss here.
But this is amazing. Well, I think you're going to be, if you have a family, a great mom, because you've got such a lovely outlook on life. And I think it's amazing how you at such a young age can see all these things. Yeah, I think your teacher was right. You were born 18.
It's like when I talk to I'm the youngest here in the house, like far the youngest person in ensemble and in opera studio. So they're always like, "Oh my God, why do you think like that?" Because I don't have a partner or anything. It's just it's not like I could have family now, but it's just like a wonderful thing to have because I see when you're in theater, you're working so late. You're working. Our rehearsals hours are like from 10 to 2, and then from 5, 6 to 10, and then when you have performances in the weekend, you like Figaro, you stay until 11:30, and then you go take your wig off, your makeup off, and then you're home at 12, and it's just, that's your life. And it would be really nice to have someone who is there by your side and who understands you and who actually supports you in that, because you need this balance. Otherwise you're empty, because you're just going from one character to other character. And when you come home, you don't go back to yourself if you don't talk to someone as yourself. I think that's really, especially nowadays where the life is really fast and the art became really fast, and it's really a business. It's a business and it's really rough. So we are doing it really, I did in December 4 productions at the same time, rehearsed performances. Now I'm doing Figaro. I did Figaro premiere, then I did Sweeney Todd on Saturday, then I had yesterday Figaro. Tomorrow I have coachings for Vampire. On the 1st of February I start rehearsals for Rigoletto. So it's like switching from one character to another, and just sleeping in between. And it's, I think, really, really hard to keep yourself by yourself.
Wow, yeah. No, I can just imagine, especially when you have to switch between characters, when it's every time a different energy that you have to put in your character. So I can imagine. But tell me now, I just ask everybody because I think it's interesting. Do you have a special place where you, in Hanover or in wherever you go, because you've been many places, but where you go and have coffee, or a special restaurant? Where do you like to unwind?
Yeah, it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Now here it was Corona, so it wasn't like so easy, it wasn't so, I was taking care, even though I'm vaccinated, I was taking care not to bring Corona into theater.
Yeah.
But I would say, because there is one small coffee shop in right across from the Opera House. They have one table inside and like 6 tables outside, and it's called Bellu Coffee, and everyone from the Opera House goes there.
Yeah.
And it's somehow they have really good coffee. I think the best in town. It's really good, and I like to sit there in this corner. There is just one table, and no one ever sits inside because people just take coffee. And then I go sometimes and I sit there and like collect my mind, like what happened, or listen to my recording of what I did that day. And I take this. There is a brownie with without gluten and lactose, like raw brownie.
Yeah.
And it's really good, really strong one. If I had long rehearsal, I don't usually eat sweets. My friends know that. So it's really like when I take it, I need some energy. I go there, I take this brownie and coffee, and that's like my safe place, to say that way.
Yeah.
And there's also one here close to my home, one really nice bar for breakfast. So I also feel nice there.
And what's the name? Nice near your home?
Corner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's I'm because I'm really open, and I have many friends and many people around me always. I actually like to be home because. Yeah, that's my I always make my home beautiful, and even though I'm moving a lot, my mom is always making fun of me. She's like, well, when are you gonna realize you're gonna move all the time? So please don't like buy stuff all the time. but I always, bring all the pictures. I like flowers, it's always, I need to feel good. Piano I brought with me, and even though I moved like from from Belgrade to Vienna, from Vienna to here, and I'm always bringing everything to feel at home, because I'm actually never at my home. So then I make my own home, and everyone, it's really a big compliment for me that all my friends always feel home at my place, and they always come to my house, apartment, wherever I am, and they just want to stay. And also, and always kids that come to visit, like of my colleague, the kids came a few weeks ago, and they, like really small kids, 3 kids, they just wanted to live here. They're like, can we live here? And it's a really small apartment, but it was so sweet how they felt really, that was like how they felt good. So I think I'm more of a home coffee and ritual person than in going out only when I'm like tired, and then I go right after a rehearsal or something. I stayed in the city or meet someone, then it's actually connected more to the person than to the place. Well, and in Vienna, I had one coffee shop that I loved. It was Liebling in Zieglergasse, or no Ziegler, but in between Ziegler and Neubaugasse on Maria-Hilfer-Straße. It was really close to it. Liebling. That was my favorite.
Liebling. Yeah, I've been there as well. It is such a sweet, it's really a sweet place to go. Okay, Petra.
Thank you so much for having me and for inviting me. It was my pleasure. And
it's my pleasure as well. I'm so happy to know you. You are such a lovely soul.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you in Vienna then.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.